mucho grandes, muy grandes.
Hello, mijo? Are you there? What are you doing? Are you being good? Javier? Are you there? Javier.
No, no quiero decirlo. No, no estaba viendo una mujer que tenía unos melones así grandes. Es todo, pero...
I hope everyone's having a great Friday night. Fans of the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, I hope you're having a great night. A little tardy. We were dropping my grandkids off right after work. And then I came in and I was working on my Baker Mayfield video and it didn't want to finish. So come on. So I just came on. So that'll be coming down the pike, my Baker Mayfield video. And part of the reason why, if you saw on my YouTube community post, that Baker Mayfield, I know he's only played a few games with us, but it's a minimum of 50 throws, 50 attempts, that he is already in Rams history lore the highest passer rating in Rams history, minimum 50 pass attempts. Baker Mayfield, a rating 98.9. Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl champion, 97.7. Kurt Warner, Super Bowl champion, 97.2. Amazing. The Baker Mayfield story continues. And so here we are, getting ready for the Chargers, our little brother. Props to them. They're we have love for the Chargers. They share our stadium, and I like Herbert. I'm a Rams fan, but I love Herbert as far as one of the quarterbacks that I appreciate. It's not a Ram, so you got to tip your hat to the guy. I really like his game and everything, and props to him. And so, it's going to be, I'm looking for another win. I want us to get a win. We're going to look in the injury report to see if they have anybody. Maybe there's a probability that the Chargers may sit their players. They already have the playoffs wrapped up. They may be able to get a different seeding. But the most thing is you're healthy in the playoffs. That's the most thing. That's the most important thing. So I want them to play. I want us to play the best team that's available against us and keep going. The other thing that if you guys noticed in my community chat is the Rams defense. I've been saying it all year, especially in recent times, even with the AD on the bench, the GOAT on the bench, the Rams are one of 4 teams that hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher this season. They're a top 5 defense. We're going to be a monster next year. I mean, we don't even have a replacement. We have Hoyt and Mutchinson, the guy that got 2 sacks last week. McVay didn't even hadn't really introduced himself to him all the way. There was a story about that, and then he's like, "Hey, how you doing? You're pretty good there," because Raheem Morris that's his side of the ball. But we don't even have AD right now, and we're still continuing. So hopefully that'll continue to finish it up. But I mean, we don't even have a Von Miller replacement. We're doing it by committee. Leonard Floyd's got a late start because he had an injury. He was banged up, and the guy's just playing out of his mind. The defense is Kobe Durant is going off. Jerry and Kendrick's got some play time. Quentin Lake didn't get a chance to get some playing time, but he's another young guy. Taylor Rapp has shown improvement as far as the way he's playing the last few games. Jalen Ramsey has played better. Maybe we'll move him to center next year. With the young guys, Kendrick and Kobe Durant maybe can take over on corners. Let's see here. Heel was a little bit of a disappointment this year coming back, but he most likely he'll improve next year. We'll see what happens with that. But he's got a pick or two this year. I appreciate what he's done for us, but the young guys may be able to take over. We're going to need to use every dime that we can get to ensure that we get a couple of offensive linemen and maybe sign this guy to an incentive-laden deal. I'm talking about Baker Mayfield, aka the Raider Killer, aka um, uh, Shaken Baker, the touchdown maker. And so, we'll see what happens. But let's get right into it. Damian Lee, Happy New Year, Rudy. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming in. Jeremiah says, Happy New Year's. Thank you. Same thing to you. I wanted to make sure I was like, you know what? Let me come in tomorrow because I have to work tonight. We're going to take my granddaughters. And but I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to because we're going to go out. We normally don't go out on New Year's Eve, knowing that everybody drinks. A lot of people drink, and don't like to be on the roads at that time. But we are going to celebrate with the in-laws, and so it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. We're going to have good times and enjoy family and friends and so I hope everyone has a great New Year. So I go, no, I got to come in tonight. So thank you guys for spending some time with me tonight. I appreciate you. I came in a little later because I had to work. Danny Berry says, hey, oh, sorry. Jeremiah says, may the best game happen. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Danny Berry says, hi, what's up? He says, Rudy. And with that, with the call of my name, like Beetlejuice. Okay, Chewy Loco says, Hola Rudy, tonight is the eve of the eve. Rams will get a win for the new year. Let's go, Baker, the touchdown maker. Yes, indeed, baby. Yes, indeed. Steve says, stop trying to do names for Baker like everyone does for Purdy. Purdy. He's so pretty. But you know what? It's all fun, man. I'm just gonna say it this way. The Kurt Warner story, the guy was bagging groceries. The Rams left him unprotected. Trent Green goes down. Nobody signed Trent. When I say unprotected, there was an expansion draft, and the Jaguars could have got him. I can't remember. Was it Carolina? I can't remember the draft, the teams, but they could have drafted him. The Rams left him unprotected, right? And nobody got him, so we brought him back. The kid's okay. Blah blah blah. Trent Green goes down, and the rest is history. The grocery store clerk, Kurt Warner, turns out to be a 2-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl appearance QB. Amazing. One of the ringleader of the greatest show on turf, the NFL's greatest offense that ever had, of course, was with the Los Angeles Rams. It goes way back to the 1950s when the Rams were the first team to average 50 points a game. You had Norm Van Brocklin, and you had Bob Waterfield throwing the ball, Crazy Legs Hirsch. The Rams are no strangers to the greatest offenses in NFL history. And, so amazing. And here's Matthew Stafford. Whenever the Rams, I'll say this, whenever the Rams have a frontline receiver core, a decent run game, a good defense, and high elite signal callers, they won a championship. Case in point, Bob Waterfield, Norm Van Brocklin doubled the duel. 1951 Los Angeles NFL champion Rams. Vince Ferragamo got to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, he was a rookie at that time. He still made a couple of mistakes down the road. Didn't get it. Jim Everett. We had to be the wild card, and we were banged up when we played the championship game against the Niners. We could have very easily have gotten the Super Bowl in the next few years, but the lady who shall be nameless took over for our great owner in '79, Carol Rosenblum, and she didn't want to play players, didn't get us over the hump. And in the '60s with Robin Gabriel and a great defense, we were on our way to building something. And but whenever the Rams have had a great signal caller, they usually won a championship or got close to it. And so same thing with our core here. That's why we're so happy about this team. Now we're finding out that we actually have to have a quality backup, because in this league, with the way the teams come after you, the only one who gets really protected is Brady. I mean, they smack Matthew Stafford around. I mean, I know we're Ram fans, we're biased, but the hits they put on Stafford, they don't allow that to Brady. I mean, and so we need a good backup, and then he can take over when Stafford rides off into the sunset in a couple of years, 3 years. We'll see what happens, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting offseason. Danny Perry said, Happy New Year's Eve. Yes, indeed. Go Rams. Yep. That's exactly right. Chewy Romo says, Steve-O, don't be a hater. Remember, we still the champions. Exactly right. That's one thing, it's so hard to win the championship, right? But guess who is still the reigning Super Bowl champions through Christmas, through New Year's. Hold on. Hold on. 1 second. So we got the Chargers up next. Love Herbert, whatever, however we say his name. Love him. But remember this, guys. We are still the reigning Super Bowl champion Rams. So that's just what it is, So we just have to remember that. And other teams want to get where we're at. And I love it. I love it. Last year will always live in my mind forever. And so, hopefully we'll be able to run that back. Steve says, I'm just saying, y'all copying us. Steve says, when you're eliminated from the playoffs, you're not the champs no more. It's not till the end. No, you're still the champs in name. All the announcers and everybody still say they're reigning the Super Bowl champions. It's until the next, and it's on your Super Bowl champions until the next champion is crowned. But the let's see. Julian Romo says, I've heard nothing about Purdy, but a lot about Baker. Orale. Yeah, the Rams are taking Purdy's. But you know what? I appreciate Brock Purdy. We'll see. We'll see. I loved him in Ghostbusters. I'm just kidding. But, God bless him. We'll see what happens because, the playoffs are much different, as Jimmy Garoppolo will tell you, than the regular season. So, we'll see what happens, but you got to appreciate him. We got to appreciate what he's done. We'll see what happens. Steve says, 64th QB to start this week. Only 11 teams have the same QB. No wonder scoring are down. Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to say this. Somebody brought this to my attention. I was watching was it Phil Sims and the other dude? I can't remember the channel, but they were saying this just proves that you have to have a quality. Like I'm high on Bryce Perkins, right, over Wolford, but both of them are raw. Those are future. If Stafford was to get hurt like he did this year, you need a guy that can right the ship and win some games. Now our offensive line has been, banged up is not even the word. It's been in shambles. Our offensive line has been Humpty Dumpty. But if we would have had maybe a Baker Mayfield in there for the Cowboys game, that was an ugly game. We could have maybe pulled that one out. Let's see. What other game? The Tampa Bay game. We had that game. Stafford had it going. We don't need a backup quarterback there, but we blew that game. There's a couple of games where we could still be in the mix with the way the teams are losing. And but we could have pulled some games out when Stafford went out instead of running out John Wolford and then giving, going between Perkins and Wolford. And, you got to have a backup QB in this day and age in the NFL now because it can just ruin your season. And we've just been lucky before that Stafford has been rammed tough and he plays through injuries. But yeah, man, we got to think about our backup quarterback. Even if Baker Mayfield doesn't stay, we got to see what's going on with that. Joe says, hello, Rudy. What's up, brother? What's up, brother? Thank you for popping in. Appreciate you coming a little later today. Let's get right into it. Let's get into the game trailer. Rams versus Chargers.
With Akers, and he's in for the touchdown. Pass. Oh, my goodness, intercepted. Oh, he comes right back.
Where did that come from? It came from long hours and dark days.
This has been a real struggle in a lot of instances.
From dedication and persistence. These are pros.
And taken down.
Sure, football is a game, but the NFL is a business. And these Rams have handled theirs.
For us to play a complete game like that speaks volumes.
When you have a culture like this one, with leaders like LA's, there's no need for New Year's resolutions. Keep showing up each week and showing out on Sunday.
One, two, three, Rams!
There it goes. And you know what? I'm going to say this. I liken this year, I liken I liken this season, I compare this season to when the Warriors were waiting for Klay Thompson to get back. They won the championship last year. Everyone's like, yeah, they weren't in the mix because they were injured. Well, that's us. We're not in the mix because we're injured and we've been hurt. I expect us to get back to healthy and win the chip next year. The only reason why whoever wins this year, and the only reason why the team that shall be nameless is the NFC West champions this year, is because we're hurt. That's the only reason. So I'm just going to say that. You know, the other content creators are not going to agree with me, but the only proof in the pudding is this: that we're the only NFC team that has won 2 Super Bowls in the free agency era that started in 1993, when they were having a hard salary cap in free agents, and so you know, that's the facts. So to me, I'm looking at like the only reason why somebody is going to be champion that's not us is because we were hurt. They didn't beat us at full strength in the playoffs. That's the only reason why we're not the NFC West champions again, and the only reason why someone else is going to be crowned champion. So I liken it to the Warriors last year. They won the championship because they were the better team. They got healthy and they won. We're going to win the championship again next year because we're the better team. We're the only one that has AD, Cup, and Stafford. We're the only one that has Sean McVay as coach. We're the only one that has this culture in Los Angeles, and we're the only one that can say in the NFC West that has 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls in this division. So I'm going to say this right now: the only reason why somebody else is going to be champion is because we were hurt. And that's why I'm likening it to the Warriors championship this last year. They won it because they were healthy. They got right back into it. That's the way I expect us to be. I'm just going to say it like that. Some people aren't going to like it, but that is what it is. Steve says, is that Boy Johnson Shirt Baker's way of saying he's fan of Brock? Props to Brock. You know, I like Brock Purdy. You know, I guess he had said something about that he realizes that he doesn't know everything, you know, so he's got a good head on his shoulders. But I can't really like him too much because he's with the evil empire. So, but I appreciate somebody who goes out there and does the job. Just as we will rebound from this horrible year of bad juju injury. Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. You know, that's the way I look at it, because it's one thing if we got to the playoffs again and somebody beat us. Well, we couldn't even get to the playoffs because everybody's hurt. I mean, Sean McVay, this is this worst season as head coach because of injuries. It's not because we forgot how to play. Matthew Stafford's having a bad year, blah, blah, blah. You know, there's a reason, not excuses. If you're out there, you're ready to play, but there's a reason in that graphic of 12 to 14 different lineup changes all the way through. And now we have a few cohesive games in a row where we're running the ball now and actually making big plays. We got Baker Mayfield right off of the plane and he steps in. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing next year. I'm really looking forward to what we're going to do. We got a chip on our shoulder and we're going to be on a mission. Chewy Romo says, I can't wait to see Duble cry again. Yeah, man, you know what? We'll see what happens. It's going to unfold. At least we can relax. Hopefully the team that will be nameless will be eliminated before they get too far in the playoffs, so we can relax easy. You know, hopefully we'll do the Rams poltergeist on them. May she rest in peace. You know, that movie Poltergeist, if you ever saw it, you know, of course they have a Rams helmet in the iconic movie, the Los Angeles Ram helmet. God bless them. So we're going to put the Poltergeist chamois on them. That's why they have all those injuries, because they're probably year after year, because they're probably the facility's probably buried on a burial ground. No, just kidding. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be if they were to win it all, the team that should be nameless, you know, props to them, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Steve says we the most injured team the last 5 years. Yeah, that is crazy. That's why I'm mentioning that. That is crazy. Jim Foster, my brother. Rudy, what's up, my brother? And with that, got to get this closer to my fingertips so I can have it. I was on Rondo and he said, "You are hiding under a rock. You need to set him straight." I'm not. I just messaged him the other day. Rombo, he knows better than that. And plus, I get tired of waiting. I'll be on there and I'll be the next caller, and he makes me wait. So, but yeah, he's gonna say what he wants to say. But why would a fan of the Super Bowl champion be hiding from any team, especially that team that they haven't proven anything except they do what they always do. They get their fans hyped up and then they let them down. Why, and this is, I showed you guys before, I made this little video and maybe I'll send that to Rambo. I heard that you said that I was hiding under a rock, Rambo, but I'm not. No, but yeah, it's fun to go back and forth with Rambo. He's a good dude, because he's a Laker fan, and so yes, indeed. Steve says, "I seen Everett in there earlier." Joe says, "I'll be laughing hard if the Raiders beat the Niners. That will be hilarious." And what is going on with the Raiders? I mean, my sister, my dad, my pops is a Pittsburgh Steelers and a Raider fan, Pittsburgh Steelers fan from back in the day, and they should have just kept Carr the whole rest of the season. They kind of did him dirty. That's not cool to do that. Just let him play out the season. They have a tiny chance to still make the playoffs. What are you doing? But I guess it's going to save them $40-some million or something. I heard millions of dollars. I don't know the exact number, because that's not a team that I follow, but millions of dollars by not having him play. And I guess he got mad about that. Who knows exactly the story, but that's not cool for a guy that gave his blood, sweat, and tears to his team. And that's not cool. And I always thought he was a pretty good quarterback. Jim Foster says the Winers will gag. I have no doubt 1984 shall live on. The curse of Eddie DiCirlo. Joe says, "Jim Foster, I was on there earlier." Steve says, "Put $100 on Raiders to get you 335. No, I'm good with that. SG, what's up, brother? He says, "Hi, what's up, brother? Thank you for coming in." And with that, let's get back into our guys, Kyrie Williams and Cam Akers running back on the grind with the backups in the background. Here's my guy. Look at the quick feet of Kyrie Williams. Boom, young guy. There's Todd Gurley. No, that's not Todd Gurley. Hold on. Here he goes. Todd Gurley. Number 30. Just kidding. I would love for that to be Todd Gurley. God bless him. One of my favorite Rams in the McVay era. Jim Foster says, "Rudy, what do you think that the terrible Tampa Bay Bucks might make the playoffs with a terrible record? I don't think teams under 500 should make the playoffs, especially getting a home game." That's a great comment. I remember years ago when we were fighting with the Seahawks and when the Seahawks beat us with Sam Bradford's one of his early years. I don't know if it was his rookie year. And they won the division at 8-8. That's how bad the division was then. And we were 7-9 and we didn't make the playoffs, but they won the division at 8-8. That's not the same as being under 500, but that's crazy. But still, the way we were beat up, I would still take it, because once you get in there, with the Tom Brady, once you get in there with the Matthew Stafford and a Cup and an AD, you never know. That would be hilarious, though. Like if we would have got in there with the losing record, or like a bad record, and then win and repeated, that would have been hilarious. You think that I talk smack now? Imagine if we repeated and we were horrible with a horrible record. I mean, but like I told you guys before, I go to theme parks, like for Christmas. We went to Universal Studios. We were going to go somewhere this year for New Year's, but we're going to go to the relatives and family's house, and family's house and friend's house. But we go to theme parks a lot. Like I've been blessed to not only have been a Ram season ticket holder, but also Disney key holder. now have a universal pass. And it's funny because you can gauge, the way I look at it is, if the Niners are winning or out of the playoffs or losing, because you start seeing guys with Niners stuff wearing. And so, like, leading up to the championship game last year, they had the Super Bowl LVI. They were setting up, they were going to do ESPN stuff from there. And you would see, right leading up to the championship game, a lot of Niners stuff, hats, and you can still see the tag in the back. And then they lost, and I was there with my Super Bowl, my Super Bowl gear, Super Bowl caps, and you didn't see them no more. For some reason. Same thing with Universal. We went to Universal, and I saw a lot of brand new jerseys. I didn't see one Brock Purdy jersey though. But it's just hilarious. I just get a kick out of it. I always say, well, welcome to the Rams house when I'm at Disneyland, because they had the mini parade for us, for Cup, Stafford, and Donald. But I just get a kick out of it. It just makes me funny. It just cracks me up and gives me smile. Jim Foster says we need to eliminate divisions and just have the top 7 teams from each conference make the playoffs. Once again, Brady is blessed playing in the weakest division. That guy, as great a player as he is, that's exactly right. He finds, and I think it's just the way it works out, because with the Patriots, just like the Steelers for many years, I appreciate their coach and they have great players, but they always are in one of the weakest divisions. They basically can put in their backpack, their saddle, basically 5 to 6 wins against their division rivals each year because of the bad division. Same thing with Brady. Amazing. Joe says, I hope Akers blows up again. Let's go, Ramsteados. Let's not forget Higbee, Skoranek, and Jefferson. Yes, indeed. And with that, let's get into the injury report. The injury report. This is the final injury report. Some of them say questionable. I got a sneak peek at it. And so sometimes it'll be game time decision. So here we go. Keeping with the frustrating tradition of 2022, the Los Angeles Rams, of course, have a couple of starters dealing with injuries this week, which has been the case seemingly every week this season. Exactly right. Heading to Sunday's game against the Chargers, the Rams are listing Leonard Floyd and Tyler Higbee as questionable. Now, I believe both of these guys are going to play. Higbee, because he's the all-time leading Ram tight end, and Leonard Floyd, because he wants to finish strong and help his boys win, and he wants to get out there for if he's basically if they're able to go, they're going. Floyd has a stomach bug and is uncertain to play. Okay, so he has a stomach bug, so maybe not play then. I thought he was a little banged up. I didn't see that, so he has a stomach bug. Well, get him some 7-Up. We'll see what happens. And it's certain to play. He only popped an injury Friday after getting a rest day on Thursday. Higbee was living on Thursday. He had his elbow checked out, but McVay said he's expected. So there you go. Higbee's going to play. Hopefully, Leonard Floyd will be able to give us a go on Sunday, and we'll see what happens. Greg Gaines dealing with the shoulder injury, but he's practicing on Friday. There's another guy that's been banged up. We haven't got the production out of him, Greg Gaines, because he had a pec injury, and then he's dealing with other stuff. It may help us in a lost year this year because we have to re-sign him next year. His deal is up, so he may not get a big contract offer for somebody. Maybe we can sign him back. Greg the Hammer Gaines right here. So we'll see what happens. But he's practicing on Friday. Should be good to go for Sunday start. Good with the Chargers. He doesn't carry an injury destination to this game, nor does Ty Nitschke or Marquise Copeland. So believe these two guys, hopefully Nitschke can play and Marquise Copeland. So let's get right into it. Brian Allen, calf is out. Marquise Copeland, full participant. He's going to play. Donald is out for the rest of the year. Leonard Floyd, we just talked about it. Questionable, stomach bug. Greg Gaines, full. He's probably going to play. Tyler Higbee, limited. Most likely he's going to play. Travin Howard, full participant. He'll probably be available. Ty Nitschke, full participant, will play. And then Ben Skoranek and John Wolford out. Ben Skoranek's out for the season. And then the Los Angeles Chargers, our little brothers, Austin Eckler, full participant, will play. Xander Harvath, Limited, questionable, most likely will play. Derwin James Jr., limited, he's out. So that's a big thing here for us. The safety, that will help us in the passing game for sure. Our guy, Sebastian Joseph Day, former Super Bowl champion, Los Angeles Ram, full. Of course, he wants to play against his old teammates. He'll play. And then Trey Pipkins III, full. He's going to play as well. For the Chargers, Derwin James ruled out with a concussion, which he suffered on Monday night against the Colts. Fullback Xander Haroff is questionable with an ankle injury. So Derwin James, no reason to play him because they want him to get ready for the playoffs. So there's the injury report. And so we got that out of the way. And let's get back into this. Steve says, I thought we were the worst division. We basically have been for a long time because of the injuries. With the Kyler Murray shenanigans and then the injuries and then the stuff going on. And now the Seahawks. They were supposed to be rebuilding, but Geno Smith had them righted for a while. And then they kind of came back to earth. We'll see what happens. But I think this division is going to be 1 year where it's like this. Next year, we'll be back. The Cardinals will be back, and the Seahawks will be 1 year better. Jeff Hart's like our Dodgers winning 111 games and losing to an 83 game. That's pretty sad. Yup. I don't remind me. Jeff Hart's Tampa Bay division is worse by far. They're going to win the division while being 2 games under 500. Isn't that crazy? And they should have been 3. We had that game in Tampa Bay, but whatever. Joe says Tampa Bay not going to win this weekend. Not happening. I hope not. SG says I'm working tomorrow New Year's Eve. Oh, well, at least you get off early though, right, SG? At least you get off early. Steve-O says, how many points you guys put up this week? Man, I would love to put another 50 burger, but that's, it's been done once in a long time for us, even with our starters. I just want to win. I would love for Baker Mayfield to keep up playing the way he is. Cam Akers to keep showing out for our offensive line to keep improving, showing improvement. And to win these next 2 games. I would love for us to get to 7 victories with this makeshift ragtag team and with a lot of heart, with championship heart. Joe says, well, let's hope McClutchin can get the ball more in his hands. Yes, indeed. You know what? I look for big things from him next year, Lance McClutchin, because he really got shoddy playing time this year. And even when we needed somebody, we got Ben Skoranek at fullback and Allen Robinson was struggling. I don't understand why we just didn't run some plays for Lance McClutchin here and there because he's a big body. We'll see what happens, but I like him. I love him. Noxium07 says, I'm going to be there for Sunday. I'm going to be there for the game Sunday, bro. So excited. Who's host? The Rams house, baby. The Champs house. Happy New Year's, bro. Thank you so much. Have a great time, man. You're going to it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. Hope you have a great time, man. It's going to be awesome. Matty Ice, Hot Rams host. Yes, indeed. See, Pro, you are a fan of. He's a Steve Remo's a Niner fan, I believe. SG says the 49ers will kick the Raiders' ass. They will win by final score 75-0. I wouldn't be surprised because they let Carr go. Really? I mean, they didn't want to pay him. That's shoddy by these guys. That's Bush League. He's meant more to that organization than what they did. Steve Osprimo says, I'm thinking we'll get over 37 points, hold them to 27. So I'm looking at Rams to 37. Looking at 37-21 Rams win. Yes, indeed. Paul H says, NFC South, worst division, not the West. You know what? That's a great point. I see what you guys are saying. Yeah, it's you can say that, but we're bad. Our division's been bad because of us, because we're the champions, and the Cardinals. But imagine that the Seahawks had a better year than us. The Jets had a better year than us. The Lions had a better year than us. Crazy. Michael Kenzie. Hey, Rudy. What's up, my brother? Thank you for coming in. As always, thank you so much. Came in a little later tonight. Had to work, and we had to drop off my granddaughters, my beautiful granddaughters. Thank you. Servo 532. Seahawks have a lot of picks. Yes, they do, man. You know what? man, they got rid of Russell Wilson right at the right time, right? I was like, why would you get rid of your franchise quarterback who took you to 2 Super Bowls and Pete Carroll's still there? Get a fresh start, right? And it seems to be working out. They got all those picks. Geno Smith's playing good. Russell Wilson looks like he's done. Wow. But I expect Russell Wilson to come back next year. I think he's got more in the tank. I really do. I really think he's got more in the tank. He's got more to go. SG says, I will work till 12:30 a.m. on New Year's Eve. Oh, man. Well, be careful out there, brother, and Happy New Year to you. Shifar says, if Baker Mayfield isn't with us next season, what team do you think will offer him a spot as a starter? Jets, Miami, Washington, Tampa, all those teams. I can see Oakland. I can see the Raiders trying to sell them tickets. Baker Mayfield, the guy that beat you, right? The guy that the Raider fans know very well. The guy that knows Baker Mayfield, the team that knows Baker Mayfield very well. There was a familiar sight on that day from a former Bay Area team coming into SoFly. But yeah, I can see each and every one of those guys, including the Raiders. Baker will stay with the Rams. I think he will too. There's a good shot because he's already been with other franchises. Yes, the bag of money is one thing. Yes, you can't argue with money, but we can get him some money too. Matthew Stafford's a little older quarterback. We're trying to run it back with AD, for another year or two. Cooper Kupp is signed for another 3-4 years. Then they're thinking over 3 years. I can see Baker Mayfield liking it here with McVay, just the stuff that they've talked about. They're on the same page. Just wanting to be in Los Angeles. And then, of course, Stan Kroenke is one of the richest owners in the NFL. We'd find money for him when Matthew Stafford hangs it up. I can see that being a situation where it could work out. I really could. That'd be perfect. Paul H says, I guess you're right. The bottom teams of the South have more wins than the bottom teams of the West. Yeah, I didn't realize that. And then you guys were making me think about it. Yeah, that's crazy. Meek Mill says, wait, are you American Cholo? American Cholo. Michael Kinsey says Russell Wilson will just enjoy his $250 million while the Broncos are in agony. That's crazy. That's crazy. Paul H says, and more of their teams will still more of their teams still in contention for the playoffs. That is crazy that they're still available. Look at the Raiders are still in contention. They have to have a lot of stuff happen, but they have to have a lot of help. But they're still. I mean, I was hoping that was going to be us, that we're going to be 9-8 and still have a chance, but we couldn't put enough wins together in the early part of it. SG says there'll be 2 toasts during New Year's Eve, one at 9 p.m. and another at midnight a.m. at California's Great America. Yes, indeed. Steve says, wait, are you the most interesting? What are the most interesting that happened this year? What are the most interesting things that happened this year? The most interesting thing that happened in the NFL this year is, unfortunately, one of them is curious things is the downfall of Russell Wilson, the rise of this guy here too, Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy, is playing much better than I thought he would. Also, this man right here already one of the top percentage rating passers in NFL history. We would have never thought we would have had Baker Mayfield because we didn't need him. Amazing. And then the other thing would be the surprise early starts for me of the Dolphins. They were like a juggernaut in the beginning, but like I said before, it's early. You don't know what's going to happen. And now he's having concussion problems. He doesn't look the same. It's tough to start out hot and keep it going. Those would be some of my things. Unknown depressed Packers fan. Bro, y'all got talent around. Y'all got You got to get the online and one more receiver in the later round. Yeah, we got a lot of talent, man. We're looking forward to coming back and being, raising havoc again next year. We'll see what happens. I agree with you. Great comment. It's just injuries on the offensive. Like the offensive line was the worst place for us to have the injuries because we were already without left tackle Big Wit from retirement. No Boom got hurt in the first game, and then our center got hurt, and then the backup left tackle got hurt, and then we had to slide down Colby. We had to slide down Colby Sherman Shelby to center. Then we lost a third string tight end. Crazy. Colby Shelton. Probably butchering his name, but you know what I'm talking about. SG says so many people are taking an Uber or Lyft in New Year's Eve because people are going to be drinking. Yep, that's exactly. I don't like to be out too much on New Year's too much, but this year will be an exception. Michael, his Baker stays with the Rams. I hope he accepts a backup role while Stafford is not retired yet. Yeah, I think he wants to be a starter. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's willing to be in a place where he is wanted, respects the coach, respects the culture, and can see on the field what he's doing with these guys. Imagine he's not even playing with Cooper Kupp. He's not even playing with Allen Robinson. He's not even playing with AD on defense to get us the ball back more often. I mean, all this is with the makeshift offensive scheme and line and players. Guys, Tutu Atwell have gotten the ball now with Baker Mayfield, and it's this has been a silver lining in a bad season. All these things happen. These young guys, Tutu, Ben Charonic, showed us what he can do. Michael Hoyt. This guy Munchausen, Latrell Munchausen that got 2.5 sacks last game. Kobe Durant, Darren Kendrick, all these guys are getting the young guys. We got a lot of young guys, a lot of talent. In a bad season, there's some silver lining. It's going to be very interesting next year. We'll see what happens. Steve says, I'd say Adams leaving 33-point comeback. I'd say Adams leaving in a 33-point comeback. Steve says, here's the bus. We'll pick you up rent-free for a tow company. We'll pick you up free on New Year's. Rudy, you're the most interesting man in the world. Thank you. That's funny that you say that because I was going to do that thing as my intro. How does it go? Do I still have it? I can't do it. The most interesting man in the world. They have the background. He's the life of the party. I can't do the voice. He's the life of the party without being invited. I get a kick out of that. Tony Corn, LOL. Jim Fox says Devontae Adams to the Rams next year. Kupp and Adams will be on the same field with OBJ. LOL. Wow. That'd be amazing. Paul H says comparing Brock Purdy to Rick Moranis is a compliment. I love Rick Moranis. Yeah, me too. I love Rick Moranis. I was just looking at somebody who does he remind me of? And the eyebrows here just kind of remind me of him. And he's a young kid. And, Rick Moranis don't look the same anymore. He's much older now. But the kid's got a good head on his shoulders and he's balling out. He's doing what he needs to do. Here's one thing that I wanted to show you guys. Now that I have this picture up, hold on. You guys can't see it very good there, but hold on. Let's see if I can bring it up real quick. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you was guess who was at hold on, the Christmas Day game. If you guys saw my community post, let's see, did I get it in here? Hold on, give me a second, guys. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Oh, I don't have it anymore. Okay, that's okay. I put it on my community post. So, let's see. Do I have a pic of my dude? There we go. So guess who was at? There was people saying, well, what if the Rams were able to get Khalid Williams? It's not going to happen. But that's what I was alluding to. Guess who was at the Christmas Day game? Khalid Williams. He got to see the Rams play. He had field seats from my USC Trojans. And but this picture here, I was trying to find it. The TV is a little dark, but it's Ice Cube in that Raider game when the Rams were playing the Raiders and they came back. I'll have that up on my Lex Live. I didn't get a chance to put that in there, but but that was funny though. Poor Ice Cube and his Raiders. His son, Oshel, what's his name? How do you say his name? Ice Cube's son. Give it to me in the chat real quick. What's his name again? I can't believe I can't remember his name. O'Shea Jackson Jr. is a Ram fan, Ice Cube's son. So I know he gives his pop some little ribbing there. SG says the Chargers will punch the Rams in the gut and they will win 65-30, and Justin Herbert will pass for 350 yards. No, stop saying falsehoods, SG. Michael says, no, I don't want Devontae. Our wide receiver coach is too deep already. Yeah, it would be nice to have another guy, but the Ben Skoronix out there and the Tutu Atwell's coming into his own. We'll see what happens. Servo 532 says Josh Jacobs would be a nice fit. Josh Jacobs, that's a great comment. But our running backs, if Cam Akers keeps playing like this, though, because he's been the dude, Cam Akers is playing like the Cam Akers we thought he was going to be. I'm good with Cam Akers and Kyron Williams. This speed right here, you can't teach that.
Hand it off to Cam. Let's see if Cam can get there. He will. And he does.
And so I really like the way he's playing, but yeah, you can never use enough running backs. You can never have enough running backs. But yes, indeed. Joe says, SG Sports Talk, LOL, you're dreaming too much, 65-30 LMAO. Yes, indeed. Steve-O says, you guys have no picks to get Adams. We do have picks, but we wouldn't. We that was just kiddie. We're no way we're going to try and get Adams. We don't need him, but that's funny. Paulie says, Rudy, do you still want OBJ back with Baker there now? LOL. I would still like OBJ back, and they're professionals I'm going to say it this way. Just like Patrick Beverly and Westbrook can get along on the Lakers because they were at each other's throats. They're professionals. As long as with the culture that we have in Los Angeles, they'd be fine. It would be a little awkward maybe, but that happens all the time where a guy's yapping and then you sign him, and they have to just get over it. But OBJ, he didn't sign with nobody. He's not going to sign with nobody this year. So there's a possibility we might get him next year. But they'd be fine. They're professionals. It was a bad situation. And there'd be a lot of mending fences, but we'll see what happens. Right now, the way it goes is Tutu Atwell keeps playing. We might not need a OBJ, but if we could get a talent like that for the right price, but he wants big money, so we'll see. Jim Foster says, "Who do you think will be our defensive coordinator next year?" I kind of think Raheem Morris will be back. Our defense has been one of the better defenses, like I said before. Amazingly, Bobby Wagner got snubbed in the Pro Bowl voting, which is horrible. He's having one of the better years in his career, and the Rams are one of only 4 teams that hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher this season. A top 5 defense without AD playing, and with all these injuries we've had back and forth. Ashawn Robinson is out for the year too. Who knows? Maybe somebody will offer him a job. I think he will be back, though. Let's see. Steve-O says you guys losing DC and OC. The OC, yes, and that's okay with me. Leon Cohen wasn't what we thought coming back. It didn't work out, so he's going back. Defensive coordinator, possibility we lose him, but McVay is kind of like Shanahan and McVay are similar. They get really great coaches underneath them. And that leads me to what I wanted to talk about too is my guy. We got into Caleb Williams watching the game at Christmas Day. My USC Trojans, he says that he's going to play in the Cotton Bowl. Fight on. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I love Caleb Williams. We'll see what happens with that. We will see what happens with that. USC versus Tulane. I wanted to see if there was an early line on the game. Hold on. January 2nd. I didn't see any line on it, but he says he's ready to go. So we'll see what happens with our guy, with our guys, USC Trojans. Let's see here. Joe says, sorry, but I'm not feeling Raheem Morrison. Raheem Morris, something off on his play call. Yeah, our defense has played great, but I don't like how he uses Ramsey. I think he'll be back though because McVay is comfortable with him. We'll see what happens. SG says Tyler Higbee. Yes, indeed. Tyler Higbee is a great tight end. Michael Kenzie says, I doubt Raheem Morris leaves. Yeah, me too. I really think that he's going to come back. Willie Bowen. What's happening, Rudy? What's happening, my guy, Willie Bowen? Appreciate my guy, Willie Bowen, coming in. He's a great Rams fan, but he's also a Charger fan. And Paul H says, O'Shea. Yes, O'Shea Jackson. Yes, indeed. Michael Kenzie says, Hijo Evero could have been a better defensive coordinator than Raheem Morris if he didn't accept the Broncos DC job. One thing, like I said in the Super Bowl year last year, Raheem Morris was on my S list. I don't like how we keep playing soft off of receivers, giving them against the Niners too. Jimmy Garoppolo likes to throw inside the numbers. We can't figure that out. we figured out some of the run game, but the inside passing, they like to throw over the middle, into the numbers. Mix it up. Get on Kittle. Pop him. Get on Bosa. Bosa. Debo. Pop him. Get on him and then lay off of him and get on him and then switch up. But he won the Super Bowl. The defense is good again. I'm not a huge fan of his, but it is what it is. As she says, I would love to see Baker Mayfield take ballet classes. What do you mean ballet classes? Willie Bowen says Baker Mayfield should be the second string quarterback for LA Rams next year. Horns up. I hope so. Knoxham 7 says, bro, Utah Utes, Rose Bowl 2023 for the win. Oh, no. We all want my USC Trojans to get that. Steve says, you used to have long hair. I do. I just pulled it back. It's just in a ponytail. SG says, I would love to see Baker Mayfield be a Hawaiian fight dancer. No, none of that stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate each and one of you guys. I hope all you guys have a happy new year. Have a safe and sane and have a drink on me. If not, have a drink of cold water or soda for me. And just give thanks and think about this last year. And I hope everybody's safe and has a great time on New Year's. I can't believe it's almost here. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. And but just remember this too, Ram fans, RAMILIA fans of the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. We are still the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion. And I always forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Joe. And all you guys that watch the replays, remember that we are the reigning Super Bowl champion. Oops, sorry. That's just a reflex. Reigning Super Bowl champion Rams. And so it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but then it does seem like it's long ago. We just have to remember that Christmas came and went. The New Year's will come and go, but we are still Super Bowl champions. And so with that, I want to bid you adieu. I appreciate each and one of you guys. Love each and one of you guys. As we always say, may the Ramilia be with you. And Ramulators, mount up. Let's see what we got here. What should we do? What should we do?
Rams fans, let's get ready to rumble!
Rolling down Imperial Highway, the big nasty red out of my side. Santa Ana winds blowing hot from the north. We were born to ride.
And the Rams win back-to-back division titles for the first time since 1979. They are the first NFL team to cover their ticket to this year's postseason.
Everybody very happy, 'cause the sun is shining all the time. It's like another perfect day. I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it. We love it.
Let's have a chat.